On October 20th at 10 o'clock p.m., Tanya Harris was discovered lifeless behind a Torresdale Avenue business, a victim of a fatal gunshot wound, according to court documents. Those court documents meticulously trace her whereabouts, hanging out with a boy in a Gap-branded hoodie, later identified as Shane Pryor, around 6 p.m. that night. Not long after, surveillance cameras snapped her in an alcove near the crime scene, flanked by two boys who quickly bolted from the area. 5 days after the murder, Shane Pryor found himself in cuffs after attempting to elude the police by providing a fake name. Investigators stated Pryor admitted to soliciting sex from Harris, but shifted blame to an unknown guy clad in black, aged around 14 or 15, who allegedly fired the fatal shot. Despite his protest of innocence, Pryor faces charges of murder, conspiracy, and firearms offenses, with the judge opting for adult court over juvenile proceedings. Since his arrest happened at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, he has faced some initial court delays. Since then, his case has had a number of setbacks, including several defense attorneys. Before Shane Pryor was known as the latest Philadelphia prisoner escapee, he was just another docket number in a lengthy court calendar. In 2020, the then 14-year-old was charged with murdering Tanya Harris. His case is one of nearly 37,000 open criminal cases awaiting trial. Pryor had his preliminary arraignment on October 26, 2020, and since then, he's had 5 different lawyers representing him. Shane Pryor, 17, slipped police custody in the emergency room parking lot at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia around noon. Philadelphia Police Deputy Commissioner of Investigations Frank J. Venor provided an update on the Wednesday after his disappearance as they searched for Pryor. Though the team was with 2 prison staff members while in the vehicle, Deputy Venor confirms he was not handcuffed upon exiting the car. U.S. Marshals shared a video that shows Pryor alone in the lobby of the hub for the clinical collaboration minutes after he fled from custody. During a discussion with the front desk receptionist, authorities said Pryor asked for and was denied use of a phone and calmly exited the building. Investigators believe Pryor obtained transportation out of University City around 12:30 p.m., over a half hour after he broke free from custody. Fox 29's Kelly Rule reported that police located a vehicle that investigators believe was used to pick up Pryor in University City during his escape. The U.S. Marshal Service released the new video of Shane Pryor. He left and was able to use the civilian's phone to allegedly call his associate, Michael Diggs, according to U.S. Marshal Deputy Rob Clark. Diggs arrived around 12:30, allegedly picked up Pryor, and the two of them disappeared.
The big story on Action News tonight is the plea from police and federal agents as they work to track down that teenage murder suspect, now a fugitive for more than 48 hours.
And the longer Pryor stays on the run, the more desperate he becomes.
This is brand new video U.S. Marshals say shows 17-year-old Shane Pryor wearing a blue sweatshirt and distinctive hat hours after his escape on Wednesday morning. Today we also learned that police arrested 18-year-old Michael Diggs here, who they say helped Pryor flee that day after he ran from custody. Tonight, investigators zeroing in on friends and family to whom Pryor might turn for help and say they're in this hunt for the long haul. Action News reporter Annie McCormick live at police headquarters tonight. Annie, the message appears clear here. Anyone who helps this fugitive will face consequences themselves.
Absolutely, and we are told that a number of people have been questioned during this manhunt. Now, the U.S. Marshals said that they are prepared to expand their manhunt outside of Philadelphia. However, at this time, they do believe that he is still within the city limits. It's been more than 48 hours in the manhunt for accused murderer 17-year-old Shane Pryor. And tonight, new video. Authorities say this video shows him inside an Alney Corner store at North Masher and West Godfrey Avenue hours after the escape. He spent 10 minutes there. It's the last time Pryor was seen. His ride, according to authorities, was 18-year-old Michael Diggs. 6 hours after their Alney stop, Philadelphia police pulled Diggs over in Germantown in this tan Ford Fusion and took him into custody. Today, Diggs faces charges for his alleged role in his friend's getaway.
He never mentioned anything like this. I never had the indication that he would even do something like this.
The mother of 17-year-old Shane Pryor sat down with us tonight as authorities continued their search for the alleged teen killer. She asked we do not show her face.
He's scared to go to prison, and nobody's been helping him since he's been in there, and he feels like this is the only way out.
Investigators say Pryor escaped custody around noon outside the emergency room at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. The teen was transported there from the Juvenile Detention Center in West Philadelphia to get treated for a hand injury.
When staff pulled up into the driveway of Children's Hospital, we know now through video evidence, as the male was exiting that car, he was able to escape from staff and run from this area on foot.
Members of the Philadelphia Police SWAT team and counterterrorism unit swarmed the area a short time later, and officers could be seen looking into vehicles as they left Chop's parking garage.
It feels like a nightmare that I haven't woken up from. To see this on the news, seeing they got K-9s after him, all this, I'm surprised by it.
Court documents obtained by NBC 10 show Pryor is facing murder charges related to the deadly shooting of a woman in an alley along Torresdale Avenue that occurred in 2020 when he was 14.
Shane's a pretty mild-mannered kid.
Pryor's attorney tells NBC 10 his client asked to have his criminal case heard in juvenile court, but a judge denied the request in December, meaning Pryor would be tried as an adult.
I haven't talked to him, so I don't know why he ran off. But if I was to speculate, that would probably be what I would think is why he ran off, because I think he's disenchanted with the decision from the judge.
He's terrified. That's why he ran away.
Earlier tonight, the U.S. Marshal Service said it believes Pryor may be operating the stolen blue-colored Ford F-150 with Pennsylvania tags. His mother tells me she hasn't spoken to her son since Saturday and has this message for him.
I'm just pleading with you just to turn yourself in so situations don't get as worse as what it's already becoming, and just let us fight for you the best that we can, where the situation is now, so that things don't get worse. Like, I just don't want him to get hurt out there.
And investigators are trying to figure out why Pryor was not in handcuffs or shackles when he escaped authorities earlier. Philadelphia police are asking anyone who sees him to not approach him. Instead, they want you to call 911. His mother tells me she just wants this to end peacefully.
At the time, a reward for $5,000 for the information leading to Pryor's arrest was being offered by the U.S. Marshal Service. On January 24th, 2024, Pryor was handcuffed and shackled before he was driven from the Juvenile Detention Center to Children's Hospital of Philadelphia for a hand injury. At 11:51 a.m., after arriving at CHOP just before noon, Pryor was able to break free from his shackles and push past two unarmed staffers fleeing on foot, police said. At 11:55 a.m., video surveillance shows Pryor entering the lobby of the hub for the Clinical Collaboration Building, located across the street from the main hospital. Pryor asked an employee to use a cell phone. As I said before, the request was denied and he left. At 11:57 a.m., Pryor asked a civilian on Civic Center Boulevard to use a cell phone, claiming he had gotten into a fight and needed to make a call. She allowed him to use the phone, and authorities said Pryor called Michael Diggs to pick him up. At 12:29 p.m., Diggs arrived in the 3500 block of Civic Center Boulevard, and Pryor entered a cream-colored Ford Fusion. The vehicle then left University City. At 1:13 p.m., Pryor and Diggs were seen on surveillance video at the intersection of Masher Street and Godfrey Avenue and remained there until 2 p.m. before leaving in the same vehicle. At around 3 p.m., Diggs drops Pryor off on the 1100 block of East Upsall Street. A few hours later, at 6:38 p.m., the Ford Fusion was stopped in the 200 block of East Logan Street by members of Philadelphia's Highway Patrol, and Michael Diggs was detained for questioning. Pryor was not in the vehicle at the time of the stop. The next day, January 25th, at approximately 10:20 a.m., authorities confirmed Pryor is spotted on the 4300 block of Marshall Street and seen about an hour later at a corner store on 8th and Bristol Streets. The day after that, on January 26th at around noon, Pryor enters a Target store on the 7400 block of Bustleton Avenue to purchase pants. He was wearing the same clothes he had on the day prior. An employee recognized him and sent a tip to authorities. Authorities reviewed surveillance footage confirming it was Pryor. 2 days later, on January 28th, at around 6:30 p.m., police and marshals receive a tip Pryor will be in his home area. Officers canvassed the scene, and then police in unmarked vehicles spotted Pryor boarding a SEPTA bus, which they followed and then pulled over. Pryor was removed from the bus, confirmed to be the escapee they were looking for, and taken into custody without incident.
Schuler, 17-year-old Shane Pryor escaped while being transported to Children's Hospital of Philadelphia last week. Investigators say Pryor had help from the outside, but tips from the public led U.S. Marshals to find him tonight. As CBS News reporter Madeline Wright reports, they say a Target employee played a crucial role in his capture.
Dramatic video shows U.S. Marshals taking Shane Pryor into custody outside the SEPTA bus he was riding in North Philadelphia. Law enforcement pulled over the bus at 3rd Street and Roosevelt Boulevard to make the arrest Sunday evening.
We did a thorough pat down, like I said, but there was no cockiness, but I think he knew the jig was up.
The 17-year-old murder suspect had been on the run ever since Wednesday morning when he escaped custody outside Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. Supervisory Deputy Robert Clark says Pryor was carrying this handcuff key at the time of his arrest.
Put the key in, turn, and it opens the restraints. So it's definitely a piece of equipment that's of interest to us.
Officials say Pryor was originally taken to CHOP to get treated for a hand injury, but he ran away while getting out of the vehicle. He was spotted buying pants at a Target on Bustleton Avenue in Northeast Philly on Friday.
Somebody at Target was that vigilant to say, hey, this guy kind of looks like him. We were able to interview that employee, we were able to do some other things, and ultimately that led to the arrest.
Clark says this is the 7th escape case the U.S. Marshals have worked on in the last 12 months.
If you compare it to other manhunts, when Amin Hurst and Nasir Grant escaped, Nasir Grant, we had him 5 days. Amin Hurst took 10 days. Cavalcanti, if you guys remember, took 2 weeks. So I couldn't be proud of the guys to get this gentleman in custody.
The teen will now be taken to a secure facility as he awaits trial for the 2020 murder of Tanya Harris.
I'm just very grateful for the Harris family. We were able to get this over within 4 days. I saw the pain and the anguish that they were going through.
Pryor's lawyer said in a statement he's glad his client is safe, and now the focus turns to defending him in court.
This case obviously still has to play out in court, so I can't speak too much to his innocence or guilt. Shane Pryor, 17, will be charged with escape, aggravated assault, hindering apprehension, simple assault, and recklessly endangering another person for breaking free from custody. Additionally, Pryor will be charged with aggravated assault, making terroristic threats, simple assault, and recklessly endangering another person for attacking a teacher in the Juvenile Justice Services Center on January 9th, prosecutors said. Questions still remain about how the 17-year-old obtained the handcuff key, and an investigation into the entire incident is underway, according to a spokesperson for the city's Department of Human Services. Shane Pryor, an obviously troubled teen who by the time he hit puberty was in a life-altering situation where an innocent woman lost her life. His family is going through hell trying to save their child, and ultimately, his fate is up to the judicial system. Shane Pryor is innocent in the murder of Tanya Harris until proven guilty in a court of law. I'ma leave it there for now. Thanks for watching American Confidential, and of course, until next time, be safe.